Small little update on FBI Director James Comey. He was fired today.
Wow.
Fired.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
We
Well,
did.
not exactly.
Yeah.
No.
We weren't involved.
Yeah.
But he was fired, no reason given. We have a quote we'll get to, but what's your initial reaction?
So, first of all, if you're a Hillary Clinton supporter, Democrat or whatever, you might have an accidental reaction here. Your reaction might be like, yeah, Comey, good riddance. You got yours. You cost Hillary the election. That's one of the 28 excuses they have for losing the election with some degree of validity, right? Don't get excited. That's not what's happening here. It's not like Donald Trump is like, you know what, golly gee, I think what James did to Hillary was quite unfair before the election. And of course, after that election, after he had plenty of time to think about that, he chose to keep James Comey on as FBI director. Obama's the person who hired him in the first place. Remember, James Comey originally was the #2 person under John Ashcroft, who was Attorney General for George W. Bush. Now, John Ashcroft is one of the most right-wing guys in the country, and Comey was his #2 person. So now Comey is a right-winger. Part of the reason why I was a little frustrated that Obama brought him in to head the FBI, it wound up costing the Democrats dearly. Now, he very much claims that he does not act according to politics. And there is some validity to do that because the reason Obama brought him in the first place because he stood up to George W. Bush administration while serving under them.
And sometimes to Trump.
And he certainly stood up against the Democrats when they had hired him. And I had said, hey, Trump might be making a mistake here because the one thing James Comey loves to do is stand up to anyone who's ever hired him or kept him on and has in some good ways and some bad ways, a hero complex. Like, I'm gonna do what's right no matter what. Now, again, I think that gets him into some trouble sometimes because it's not necessarily clear what's right and what's wrong.
Yeah, it's difficult to tell if he's overanalyzing what he should do or not thinking about it at all.
Yeah.
Like, you definitely can't predict how he's gonna act based on his partisanship. I don't think you can predict in any way how he's going to act.
Yeah.
He just starts swinging sometimes.
Yeah, but for Trump to fire Comey now, oh boy, that's great news. What? Why is that great news? Because that means Trump's in a world of trouble. You don't fire Comey unless he uncovered something and you're in a panic over it. Because firing Comey says, there's smoke here.
Yeah.
There's smoke, there's giant amounts of smoke coming out of here, right?
The ejection seat.
Yeah.
No, that's crazy because I saw Trump's Twitter banner and it says there's no reason to think there's any connections.
Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know, I might be playing that soon enough for someone else. Firing Comey, if you're Donald Trump, is almost admitting guilt. That is a politically disastrous move to make, unless you think he got you.
Could I add one layer to it? They fired him without a replacement. Like, this was like, oh, get rid of him. We don't know who's gonna take his place. I mean, look, maybe by tonight we'll end up, they've got somebody. But that definitely seems like a knee-jerk sort of reaction if you don't even have an idea of who's gonna replace him for a tiny little insignificant government office like the FBI. That seems odd.
Yeah, and if you're the guy who's for rule of law and law and order, and you don't fire your FBI guy without having a replacement. And if it was a smooth transition, oh no, that's okay. He wanted to spend more time with his family and we were gonna replace him anyway, you would already have your guy. No, this is a panic fire.
Well, and also, I mean, especially, look, firing someone like that is going to make news, you understand that. And that's why they always ask for resignation. The idea that they didn't ask James Comey to resign instead of being fired seems hard to imagine for me, which implies that James Comey refused to and was then fired.
Exactly. So they might have asked him, but Comey, he's like, no,
I don't.
I won't. Yeah, well, that's a good point.
I have no idea.
Yeah, but if you ask, if Comey's boss asks him to do something, the answer is usually no. So if they asked him to resign, he probably said no, there's no reason to resign. Understand this, if you hadn't heard it earlier, James Comey publicly announced in Congress that he's investigating the Trump administration for connections to Russia. So there isn't anyone in the country who's involved in politics that doesn't know that firing James Comey is basically saying, okay, look at what James Comey was investigating because I don't want that to come out. And you would never ever make that move unless he had you. Unless he had you and he was gonna make that public. So Trump is in a world of trouble.
When you add to it, of course, I mean, so there's the collusion idea that they were sort of working, during the election or whatever. That's one thing. But then earlier this week, I think it was Clapper that said he couldn't speak about something because alluding to the idea that there was a non-election specific business investigation going on that might prelude the actual election by several years. I mean, that could be a part of this as well. It might not be directly related to the election.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Not yet. Not yet.
Well, that was fast.
Okay, but this is the beginning. All right, put a clock on it. Trump is now walking around the ring, getting stuck in one corner or another. He's hurt, dog. Don't ask him if he's all right. There's no way you fire James Comey unless you're in a world of trouble. That he had evidence that you had colluded with the Russians. Yeah. Now they will replace him with the world's largest hack, because if he's already got the evidence, the only way you cover up that evidence is by putting an absolute political friend who will cover up for you under any circumstance. So Chris Christie, they're on line one for you.
Yeah, that's not impossible.
So we'll see.
I hadn't thought about that.
Yeah, we'll see who he puts in. But right now, the Attorney General, the Deputy Attorney General who ordered the dismissal, the recommendation to dismiss him, please. And whoever the new head of the FBI is will furiously try to cover up for what Trump has done. You're not gonna be able to bury it. You're nuts. Firing Comey can almost only make it worse. Yeah. So the only way that it makes any sense at all is if he was gonna put handcuffs on you tomorrow, then I guess you fire Comey. But otherwise, you have just started a giant political dumpster fire for yourself. Let me tell you one other fun thing. We did that poll yesterday on Hillary Clinton. Should she join the resistance or go into the woods? It has accidentally lit the internet on fire. For over 62,000 votes in under 20.
62?
Yeah, in under 24 hours. And in the beginning, it was 93-7, go back into the woods. And then join the resistance, took the lead. Yeah. What the? Okay.
4% of the vote was going to the woods covered in honey, actually. That's provocative. I don't know about that, but.
So it was like 55-45 joined the resistance, and then the woods made a comeback, and it's now 66-34, go back into the woods. So if you want to participate, tytnetwork.com/Hillary.
Yeah.
Join the rest of the internet in voting on that poll.
Yeah.
You know what? Here, let's do an impromptu one. We'll have to work this out, but should we do just Trump? Yeah, this is the big one. tytnetwork.com/Trump. Is Donald Trump done?
Yeah.
Damn!
And if you haven't already voted on the previous one on Hillary, go do that, because if we get 100,000 votes, we get McNuggets for the rest of our life. It's pretty exciting. Looking forward to it.
Damn! What an exciting time to be in news! God, I love my job.
Young Turks now has over 6 billion lifetime views. You know who did that? You did that. We're now larger than CNN, ABC, you name a news network online, we're larger than them. And you built all that as everyone scoffed and didn't believe. And here we are, guys, thanks to you. Build independent media together with us at tytnetwork.com/join.